secular Pongal. Rahul Gandhi backs Vijay, urges Congress cadre to stand by the actor and explore alliance options. This as the actor faces fresh CBI summons in Karur case. BJP slams the Congress for snubbing German Chancellor, claims Chief Minister and his deputy skipped official duties to greet Rahul Gandhi instead. Kerala's High Court flags Sabarimala ghee embezzlement, cites systemic failures, notes 34 lakh misappropriation in a short span. Jaishankar and Marco Rubio hold talks on trade, defense and security as India and US push to ease strains and advance the trade deal. Amid India's 2036 Olympics ambition, Denmark badminton player calls out the subpar conditions during India Open, asks world body to cancel World Championship in India. A day after dismissing concerns raised by BCB over travelling to India, ICC once again asks Bangladesh Cricket Board to reconsider its stance. In Iran, the rising death toll fuels tensions as Tehran races for US action. Trump tells Iranians to keep protesting, says help is coming. It's Pongal today, and Tamil Nadu's celebrations have already sparked a fierce political war. Prime Minister Modi showcased Tamil culture at a grand event joined by actor Sivakarthikeyan of the film Parasakthi. The Congress quickly dubbed it as Sanghi Pongal, accusing its team of siding with the Bharatiya Janata Party. Meanwhile, Chief Minister M.K. Stalin has pitched what he calls a Dravidian Pongal, saying that the harvest festival transcends caste and even religion. The BJP has hit back, alleging DMK is stripping Pongal from Hindu tradition. But listen in to what Prime Minister Modi had to say.
पोंगल एक ग्लोबल फेस्टिवल बन चुका है। हमारे तमिल जीवन में पोंगल एक सुखद अनुभूति की तरह है। अन्नदाता की मेहनत, धरती और सूर्य के प्रति आभार का भाव है। साथ ही ये पर्व हमें प्रकृति, परिवार और समाज में संतुलन बनाने का रास्ता दिखाता है। हमारी तमिल संस्कृति पूरे भारत की साझी विरासत है। इतना ही नहीं, पूरी मानवता की ये साझी विरासत है। मैं एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत की जिस भावना की बात करता हूं, उसे पोंगल जैसे पर्व और सशक्त बनाते हैं। तमिल संस्कृति दुनिया की सबसे प्राचीन जीवित सभ्यताओं में से एक है। तमिल संस्कृति सदियों को जोड़ती है। वो इतिहास से सीखकर वर्तमान को आगे का रास्ता दिखाती है।
No propaganda. I don't have any propaganda also.
Congress is claiming
No, they will understand it. If they watch the film, maybe or the second time, they will understand it even better. And all of us are brothers, and we are not trying to say anything extra also.
Sir, what about Vijay?
I wished him for his political journey, personally also, and in social media also. And his film, it will release soon.
All right, getting in breaking input, staying on this news story. This as BJP leader K. Annamalai has hit out at M.K. Stalin, saying that Stalin has to understand that Hinduism is a way of life, and Pongal from time immemorial is a way of life too, and that it should be considered as a festival that belongs to India and cannot just be reduced to being part of the Dravidian culture. But let's also listen in to what Annamalai had to say in that conversation he had with CNN News 18's Anindya Banerjee.
Mr. Stalin has said that it's not a Pongal is not a Hindu festival. There's no religion in it. Is it true?
Sir, anybody who sees a Pongal where we celebrate in Pongal, all the Panchabhutas, the fire, water, air, sand, all the Panchabhutas we celebrate. And Stalin has to understand Hindu is a way of life. And Pongal from time immemorial is a way of life. And when Stalin chooses to see religion within a very closed doctrine, a closed border, then is sadly mistaken. Hindu religion itself is a celebration of way of life. Unfortunately, the Chief Minister Stalin ji, he doesn't know this. I remember distinctly 3-4 years back when he participated in a Pongal celebration, there was a pot kept. Instead of fire, there was cotton kept, and then they put some design, and then he just gave pose. A person who does Pongal like that, what does he know about Hindu ritual? What does he know about Hindu way of life? It's very unfortunate a particular person sitting in the Chief Minister's chair is making this kind of statement for the last 3-4 days.
All right, let's quickly go across to Pallavi Ghosh and Purnima Murli, who are both joining me live on the broadcast. Pallavi, by not acknowledging that Pongal is a Hindu festival, is MK Stalin himself, sort of contradicting the secular credentials that the DMK and he themselves boast of?
Well, frankly speaking, Akanksha, I think Purnima will bear me out on this, and I think this has been a different stand which the DMK has taken, whether it was on the Sanatan Dharma issue and whether it's on the Pongal issue. But what it does for the Congress party, I would say, Akanksha, is even more damaging. Congress is in an alliance with the DMK. And I remember during the Madhya Pradesh election, the Sanatan Dharma comment had come in from Udaynithi Stalin. And at that point of time, Kamal Nath, who was the face of the Congress in MP, had suggested that let's not have an India bloc meeting or a rally in Bhopal, because with Udaynithi Stalin or even MK Stalin on the same stage as us, after his Sanatan Dharma comment, it is going to boomerang on the Congress party. The Congress has always faced black for the BJP for being an anti-Hindu party. And this comment coming in from one of their alliance, and also the wrong-standing silence of the Congress party on this, its obvious discomfort also, where the national political playout is going to make it very, very difficult for the Congress party's game for the power play as far as moving out of Tamil Nadu is concerned. I mean, many of the Congress leaders who belong to North India, for that matter, who are from UP, who are from Madhya Pradesh, would not be very comfortable with this statement coming in from one of their own allies.
All right, stay with me, Pallavi. Let me also bring in Purnima on the DMK bit. Purnima, taking that forward, to reduce, say, Pongal to just being a Dravidian festival or to not acknowledge its Hindu roots, how is this now going to play out for MK Stalin and, of course, the DMK?
Well, politics over Pongal festival continues to escalate. We've seen words being exchanged between the DMK as well as the BJP. While Stalin's message to DMK cadre is this, that Pongal is beyond caste, creed and religion, and it is to unite people and not divide the people in the name of religion. The BJP has now hit back. Annamalai also now saying that Annamalai in hitting out, saying that it's the DMK that's trying to make such a statement, and we are all united, and the BJP is not the one that's dividing the country. So Annamalai also now goes on to talk about how he makes his allegation that the DMK is corrupt and that the people of Tamil Nadu will teach the DMK a befitting lesson in the 2026 state assembly polls. But politics over Pongal festival escalates in the state ahead of the 2026 state assembly polls.
Right, and it's not just Pongal, because remember the Parasakti team was also very much part of the celebrations here in the national capital, on which I'd like to quickly bring in Pallavi. Pallavi, we are seeing a host of southern movies, in fact Yash, Parasakti, and of course Vijay's film also now come at that intersection of politics meeting culture, and that now brewing up fresh controversy just ahead of the Tamil Nadu elections.
Well, I mean, cinema and southern politics have always had a very, very close relationship. So one is not too surprised that as we look for the battle for Tamil Nadu, it's again the movies which have now become a point of tug of war between the political parties. And I would find very interesting the reactions coming in from the Congress party. I mean, on the day when Rahul Gandhi was in Tamil Nadu yesterday, one of the first posts he put out, and not only that, he pinned the post where he came out in full support of Jananayagan and also of actor Vijay, and saying that this shows the arbitrary nature of the IND ministry of the central government, where they are not allowing his movie to be released. In stark contrast is, of course, the Parashakti team being there and Murugan's residence where the Pongal ceremony was taking place, in which the Prime Minister is present there. And the insinuation coming in from Manikam Tagore and the Congress party is that Parashakti has got the go-ahead only because, they were hobnobbing with the Prime Minister, they're hobnobbing with the BJP, and the movie is also believed to be anti-Congress. So the movie has now become a kind of a tug-of-war. It can become the benchmark for trying to change the political combinations or coalitions in the state as well.
All right, let me quickly go across to Purnima also when it comes to, say, the political undertones of Pongal this year, particularly when Prime Minister Modi himself is saying that it's not just a festival for the Tamil community, it's in fact a global festival. How is that now going to work out, say, for the politics in Tamil Nadu when he's in fact disassociated Pongal with, say, just the Tamil community? He's saying that it's a festival that's not just celebrated in the country, but across the globe. Purnima.
Well, the BJP is also keeping in mind the 2026 State Assembly polls, and BJP leaders say that that Prime Minister celebrating Pongal is a symbol of Prime Minister's love for Tamil culture, Tamil language, and Tamil pride, and that's evident because Prime Minister says it's not just a festival for Tamil Nadu; it's a festival across the world, and that's something that BJP says shows Prime Minister's love for the Tamil culture, because Pongal is a Tamil festival and it will span for about 3 days. And DMK now hits out at this, says that BJP is only playing the Tamil card in the run-up to the 2026 State Assembly polls, and this will not help the party make inroads in the State Assembly polls. Is something that the DMK says. Playing the Tamil card ahead of the elections may not help the BJP and its alliance partner, the AIADMK, is the word coming in from the DMK.
Absolutely. In fact, Prime Minister also lauded the Tamil culture, spoke about the long legacy and the civilizational history behind it. But we'll have to see how that actually plays up during the election time. But many thanks to you, Purnima and Pallavi, for bringing in all those insights on that news story. Shifting focus over to a much awaited and a very interesting phone call that's taken place just last night, and that was India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar and US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who went on a call holding wide-ranging talks. All that it covered was trade, defense, even nuclear cooperation. The discussions underscored the growing strategic partnership between New Delhi and Washington, with both sides emphasizing stronger economic and security ties. Notably, the development comes a day after Washington's new ambassador to New Delhi, Ambassador Sergio Gore, took over. He even said that India and the United States would take up outstanding trade issues during a scheduled call. And that is exactly what happened yesterday. Also, in a separate move, the US President Donald Trump has defended his own tariff policies, claiming they are bringing in billions of dollars to the American Treasury without hurting any of the consumers. Listen in to what the US President had to say.
Every prediction the critics made about our tariff policy has failed to materialize. The evidence shows overwhelmingly that the tariffs are not paid by American consumers, that they're paid by foreign nations and middlemen. And Scott went over that with us before, and they're paid by middlemen. They raise the thing, countries get involved, they pay them because otherwise they won't have companies, they won't be viable. And we're the big beneficiary. Once again, the so-called experts were 100% wrong and Trump was right.
All right, let's quickly go across to Siddhant Mishra, who will put that into perspective for us. Siddhant, to begin with that much talked about call between Dr. Jaishankar and Marco Rubio, as we see that there's a renewed focus, say, on trade, energy and nuclear cooperation. Is there a paradigm shift between, say, as far as the partnership between New Delhi and Washington is concerned, where sort of the strategic partnership is now being linked with economic partnership, and you see the way India is also going to be becoming part of Pax Silica? All of this, what is it now indicative of?
Well, that's right, Akanksha. In fact, the two key elements, perhaps, which took me by surprise. One is Secretary of State Marco Rubio congratulating him, S. Jaishankar, for the Shanti Act, perhaps hinting at deepening cooperation in the field of nuclear energy between the two countries. In fact, last year, Akanksha, in the month of January, NSA Sullivan visited India, and in fact, he made the last announcement of Biden administration for India, which was to remove some of the Indian companies from the entity list of United States, perhaps paving way for deeper cooperation between the two countries. Now, since India has also decided to open its nuclear sector for the private players, scrapping the old acts of 1962 and 2010, perhaps this move has been welcomed by the US government, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio congratulated EMS Jaishankar for that. At the same time, the addition of new element is critical minerals. Now, critical minerals used to exist in the relationship when President was Joseph Biden. In fact, India was also the part of the initiative of the previous administration. Now, when it comes to this administration, Akanksha, in fact, we both have reported that how India was not invited to join Pax Silica initially, etc., etc. But the other day, Ambassador announced that India will be getting an invite to join Pax Silica, to become the 9th member of Pax Silica. And simultaneously, Ashwini Vaishnaw was in the United States to attend a ministerial meeting of G7 ministers in DC on the issue of critical minerals, securing supply chains of critical minerals. So as per my assessment, these two elements are going to drive India-US relationship in months to come.
All right, Siddhant, going to request you to continue staying with us. We have more inputs coming in from across the international shores, because remember, tensions are soaring high in Iran. This as reports emerge of nearly 2,000 deaths in a brutal crackdown on anti-government protests. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump has urged demonstrators to keep going on. In fact, he's also assured them that help is on its way, escalating already high tensions with Tehran. Iran's defense minister has already warned of a powerful response to any US aggression. Top Iranian official Ali Larijani has blamed Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu for the bloodshed. Remember, the Iranian regime has refused to back down. In fact, they have threatened the US president that there will be a befitting response if US does intervene. Meanwhile, 26-year-old Irfan Sultani is facing execution for protesting against its supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, marking the first such sentence in the uprising. And amid a 130-hour internet blackout, Elon Musk's SpaceX has stepped in. It's offering free Starlink satellite access to Iranians seeking to stay connected. Remember, this happens shortly after the US president assured that he will look into the internet blackout and will also reach out to Elon Musk. Listen to the reactions.
همانطور که در پیام قبلیم به شما گفتم، صدای شما و شجاعت شما را جهانیان نه تنها دیدن و شنیدن، بلکه دارن اکنون اقدام میکنن. قاعدتاً تا به حال بایستی پیام رئیس جمهور امریکا رو در ضمن شنیده باشید. کمک در راه هست. مبارزه را همطور که تا به حال انجام دادید ادامه میدید. نگذارید که این نظام شرایط رو عادی جلوه بکند. بعد از این همه کشتار اخیر، یک دریا خون بین ما و این رژیم هست. یادداشت کنید اسامی این جنایتکاران رو. یه روزی به سزای اعمالشون خواهند رسید. و اما پیام ویژه‌ای دارم به پرسنل ارتش. شما ارتش ملی ایران هستید، نه ارتش جمهوری اسلامی. وظیفه دارید از جان همیهنانتون حفاظت بکنید. فرصت زیادی براتون نمونده. به مردم هرچی زودتر بپیوندید.
All right, let's quickly go across to Siddhant, who continues to stay with us. So Siddhant, the moot question for us as Indians is, will there be a US intervention as has been threatened? What are the options before the United States, and why should India be concerned?
Well, that's right, Akanksha. So from last 48 hours, we are getting mixed signals from the United States. In fact, day before yesterday, US senior officials, press secretary, President Trump himself said that they believe in diplomacy first. Iranians have reached out to them, etc., etc. In fact, there were multiple reports saying that Iran is ready to discuss its nuclear program again with the United States. Now, yesterday again, there were chatter about possible military attack by the United States, cyber attack, things like that. In fact, press secretary said that all options are on the table. In fact, there was one high-level meeting also which took place in the White House, where President Trump was briefed about the situation in Iran. Then series of posts made by President Trump saying that the help is coming your way, keep protesting. Take over the institutions, make Iran great again, with that message. So right now, perhaps the whole world is watching the next move of the United States very, very closely, Akanksha, because as I said, that there has been mixed signaling being done by the United States. So one cannot predict what's going to be the next move, whether there's going to be a possible military intervention or a cyber attack, or United States and Iran will be coming to the tables for talks. Because interestingly, Steve Witkoff had a conversation with the Iranian Steve Witkoff, in fact, who was last time involved in handling this situation in Iran, in fact, met Reza Pahlavi, as per the report. So a lot of developments are taking place, right, but very difficult to predict what will be the next move of United States.
Absolutely, and what is going to be the impact of that move is perhaps also something that the US needs to be extremely mindful of. Many thanks to you, Siddhant, for putting that into perspective for us. Now, amid these escalating protests, Dr. Mohammed Momin Khan, who is the Vice President of the All India Medical Students Association of Jammu and Kashmir, spoke exclusively to CNN News 18. This with regards to the safety concerns for India's medical students in Iran. He had that conversation with Siddhant. Listening.
So viewers, joining me now is Mr. Dr. Mohammed Momin Khan. He is in touch with the Indian medical students stuck in Iran. He's in regular touch with them. We'll be talking to him about their safety and whether there is any plan of bringing them back home. क्या कुछ आप बता सकते हैं उन बच्चों के बारे में जो कि मेडिकल स्टूडेंट्स हैं, जो कि ईरान में पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं? कितनी संख्या है उनकी? और क्योंकि वहां पे 130 घंटे से ज्यादा का इंटरनेट ब्लैकआउट है, तो ऐसे में बातचीत होने में भी कुछ दिक्कतें आ रही होंगी. क्या वो सेफ हैं, किन इलाकों में है? क्या कुछ बता सकते हैं आप हमें?
जी, देखिए क्या है, जो हमारे इंडिया से अराउंड स्टूडेंट्स वो नियर अबाउट 3000 है. उसमें से जो इंडियन मेडिकल स्टूडेंट्स हैं इट्स अराउंड लाइक 2000 के टचिंग में है. और मेजॉरिटी ऑफ देम जो होते हैं वो बिलोंग करते हैं जम्मू एंड कश्मीर से. मोर देन लाइक 1600 स्टूडेंट्स.
ये कौन से इलाकों में हैं और क्या कुछ बता रहे हैं? क्या तस्वीर है इस वक्त ईरान की? क्योंकि 2 दिन से तो बताया जा रहा है सिचुएशन कुछ कंट्रोल में आई है, पर उससे पहले जिस प्रकार से आगजनी का मंजर देखा गया, जिस प्रकार से गवर्नमेंट बिल्डिंग्स को अटैक किया गया, बताया जा रहा है ईरानियन फोर्सेस ने भी बहुत लोगों को, प्रोटेस्टर्स को पे गोली चलाई है. क्या कुछ जानकारी वो दे रहे हैं आपको?
देखिए, जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं मेनली जो तेहरान में मतलब स्टडी करने जाते हैं, तो आप जानती है थर्सडे नाइट के बाद वहाँ इंटरनेट शट डाउन हुआ था कम्प्लीटली. और इवन दो कम्युनिकेशन जो मोबाइल नेटवर्क है, इंटरनेशनल कॉल्स, दे वर आल्सो सस्पेंडेड. तो स्टूडेंट जो है यहाँ, मैंने उनके पेरेंट्स के एक व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप बनाए थे, क्योंकि लास्ट टाइम भी इवैक्यूएशन के वक्त हमारी एसोसिएशन ने बहुत हेल्प की थी इनकी. तो जो इंटरनेट शटडाउन की वजह से बहुत पैनिक और एंजाइटी क्रिएट हुई है अमंग द पेरेंट्स. तो कुछ स्टूडेंट जो है मतलब वो इराकी बॉर्डर के पास फ्राइडे को चले गए थे और उन्होंने वहां से मुझसे कम्युनिकेट किया था. तो मैंने वो जो उनने अश्योरिटी जो मतलब बोला था, वो अभी तक मतलब जो स्टूडेंट्स हमारे इंडियन मेडिकल स्टूडेंट्स वो कम्प्लीटली अभी सेफ है वहाँ पे. कुछ स्टूडेंट्स टर्की बॉर्डर पे भी चले गए थे उर्मिया यूनिवर्सिटी के, तो उन्होंने वहां से भी हमें मैसेज दी कि मतलब दे ऑल आर सेफ, देयर इज नथिंग टू वरी. और वो मैसेज हमने उनके पेरेंट्स को कन्वे की थी.
तो इस मामले में, इस पूरे मसले को लेकर आप एम्बेसी से टच में हैं? आप लोग वहां से गाइडेंस मिल रहा है? कुछ भारत सरकार से टच में हैं?
जी, जी। भारत सरकार और एम्बेसी का पूरा साथ है इस चीज़ में और जो हमारी वहाँ इंडियन हाई कमीशन इन ईरान है, तेहरान में, उन्होंने भी एडवाइस दी अपने स्टूडेंट्स को जो मतलब डिफरेंट यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में उनने मतलब हर यूनिवर्सिटी में एडवाइज़री जो है वो जारी की है, जिन्होंने उन्हें स्टूडेंट्स से ये अपील की है कि वो इंडोर में ही रहे।
अमेरिका की तरफ से क्योंकि लगातार धमकियां आ रही हैं कि वो इंटरवीन करेंगे, मिलिट्री अटैक कर सकते हैं या साइबर अटैक कर सकते हैं, इस तरह की तमाम बातें आ रही हैं, तो वहां क्या चर्चा है, ईरान में क्या चर्चा हो रही है इसको लेकर?
देखिए स्टूडेंट्स एज ऑफ नाउ वो बोल रहे हैं वहाँ पे जो मतलब स्टेबल है कंडीशन, लेकिन अगर ये चीज़ें होती है कहीं से मतलब अटैक वटैक होते हैं तो हमारी इमीडिएट डिमांड रहेगी जो हमारे इंडियन सिटीजन्स हैं उन सबको इवैक्यूएट किया जाए टू बैक टू द इंडिया।
More than 2 weeks into Iran's nationwide protests and demonstrators remain defiant. This despite a harsh crackdown. In fact, an ongoing internet blackout has already made it difficult to grasp the full scale of the unrest. What began as outrage over inflation and rising living costs has now exploded into a wider anti-government movement in Iran. CNN's Jumana Karadeshe she brings us a report. Let's have a quick look.
From behind the walls of the Iranian regime's censorship, a chilling video has emerged. Every movement of what may be a hidden camera reveals a terrifying picture of what's been unfolding on the ground. They butchered him, this mourner wails. The camera drifts past grief, not lingering long enough for us to be able to tell the stories of loss and pain of so many who gathered at the Kahrizak Forensic Medical Center outside Tehran, searching among rows and rows of body bags that line the courtyard for loved ones missing. State media had its own pictures and narrative from the Kahrizak Forensic Institute, reporting the majority of the bodies are those of, quote, ordinary citizens. They blame their deaths, like the protest, on foreign-backed terrorists carrying out what they say are indiscriminate killings. These pictures the regime decided to air, perhaps a warning to those who dare take to the streets. It's almost impossible for us to get real-time updates from Iran. The regime's shut down communications across the country on Thursday, just as nationwide protests against the clerical establishment drew larger crowds to the streets of every province. It's a tactic out of its playbook on crushing dissent, cover it's used in the past to unleash bloody force. In this one location, an estimated 250 bodies, with hundreds more confirmed killed elsewhere, according to activists. The world now braces for what may come when Iran finally emerges from the dark.
All right, with that, we're stepping into a quick break. Stay tuned to CNN News 18 as we return with the latest news and updates.
The Mumbai local is synonymous with the maximum city. It is its very lifeline.
After 8 long years, the Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation elections are finally set to take place.
One alliance versus fractured opposition. Who will Mumbai choose? Ballot Maximum City. Complete coverage on CNN News 18. This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
We are now cutting across to this piece of breaking news where we are learning that at least 12 people have been killed after a construction crane fell into a moving train in northeastern Thailand. This is an unfortunate update that we are having to bring for our viewers because of the number of casualties that this accident has reported. At least 12 people who are believed to have been killed, and this after a crane has fallen onto a moving train. All of this has happened in northeastern Thailand. We are now looking at more updates. We are also in fact given to understand that the number can go up to even 22 and many others who have been injured. This is what we are picking up, and these are the visuals that we managed to in fact source for our viewers as a construction crane collapses onto a moving train, and that has ended up killing many people, at least 12. The number could go up to more than 20 is what we are picking up. And these are very, very distressing visuals that we have for our viewers on the screens. My colleague Akanksha Swaroop with all of those details. Akanksha, anything else that you're picking up? Very, very distressing piece of information that we are having to put out for our viewers.
Right, Griha, in fact, the death toll is rising. Earlier it was being reported that 12 people have been killed, but in the latest information that we have received, 22 people are reportedly dead, 30 injured, and perhaps the death toll could in fact go up further. And if you actually go by the visuals that are coming in, you can see how the crane actually collapsed on that moving train, which led to this tragedy. Could it have been averted? Only an investigation will be able to indicate. But why was the train passing through this semi-constructed area? It was a construction crane that fell onto this moving train in northeastern Thailand. We await more details to emerge in terms of what really led to that collapse of that crane on to the train. But in fact, if you were to go by the visuals that we have received so far, you can see that the train has been left into ramshackles and actually it's completely collapsed. So what's right now of prime concern is that will the death toll remain at 22 or is it going to further go up? There's, of course, rescue operations that are currently on because remember 30 people are already injured. They are being rushed to the nearby hospitals is what we are being told. And perhaps in some time from now, we'll be able to ascertain better the exact number of people who have died, but it's extremely deeply tragic and disturbing. 22 people already dead, and you can see the way the train has completely left in it's been left in a charred condition. It's completely collapsed. It's in fact, as you can see, the visuals that are coming in, the smoke billowing out of a collapsed train, and this crane that actually collapsed on top of it. But what's extremely shocking is how was the train allowed to pass through a semi-constructed site and what exactly led to the collapse of that crane. We await more details to emerge, but these are breaking inputs that we are receiving in this horrific train tragedy that has taken place in northeastern Thailand, Griha.
Right, Akanksha, I was also reading through a couple of reports that are emerging, and this is as per the local police. They were saying that the crane was moving on a high-speed rail project when this collapse and crash onto that passing train really happened. Any details that could be picked up from the local authorities there in Thailand, or is it too early to assess the situation at the moment?
So what you're saying is actually right, and yes, this is what the reports are indicating, that this crane was actually moving at a very high speed. And what we can tell our viewers right now is that this accident has taken place in the wee hours of Wednesday morning in the Sikioi district of Nakhon Ratchasima province, and the train was bound for Thailand's Ubon Ratchathani province, and local media reports are indicating that this crane was actually on a high-speed rail project when it collapsed, and that's when it hit the passing train. Why was the train taking a route through a semi-construction site? All of that detail is currently awaited. But what we are also learning from the reports that are emerging so far is that it was the high speed of the crane that caused the train to derail and even catch fire. So also videos that are emerging currently on social media are also indicating how the rescue work is also underway. The first responders are actually over there. But remember, like most train tragedy, what actually makes it most challenging for the first responders is how they have to cut through the train and the metal to actually rescue those who are trapped inside the wreckage of that destroyed train. So, and that's exactly what first responders are currently doing at this site as well, where they have to cut through the train wreckage to rescue those injured people. Close to 33 or 30, in fact, injured have been rescued so far. The fire has been extinguished and the rescue work is still underway, is what we're being told we have.
Right, Akanksha, do stay on with us. Very, very distressing piece of information that we are having to put out for our viewers. We are just putting out those visuals as well on the big screen on the wall here. And there you can see the under construction bridge. This is where the construction was taking place. This seems to be of a high-speed rail project.
Hello and welcome to Simply South. I'm Harish Upadhyay. Time to look at all the major stories emerging from South India, and we begin with Kerala. Close on the heels of the gold theft scam in Sabarimala, the temple is once again under the scanner for another misappropriation. This time round, it's the Adiya system ghee, a sacred offering, and the sale of which is now being questioned. In fact, within a short span of less than 2 months, an amount of approximately 35 lakh rupees was allegedly siphoned off exclusively from the sale of Adiya system ghee. The proceeds from this offering form a crucial part of the Travancore Devaswom Board revenue. In fact, considering the report of Sabarimala Special Commissioner, Kerala High Court has pulled up Sabarimala Temple Board for pilferage of money from the ghee sales. Vigilance report claims sales of 16,628 packets of ghee sold from the counter is not remitted to the Devaswom Board account. BJP in fact has taken on the LDF government for this scam that has now taken place in the temple.
After Sabarimala gold loot, now it is Sabarimala ghee loot. The embezzlement that has been done in just a short period of time, less than 2 months, in the sale of ghee has been called out by the Kerala High Court. And the Kerala High Court has called it a systematic and deep-rooted failure and has come down heavily at the TDB. This is not just case of loot, it is systematic corruption and desecration, and both the UDF and the LDF are at the heart of this. Even in this case, all these people who are willy-nilly involved in it, they are all patronized by the UDF and LDF.
In fact, CNN News 18's Neetu Raghukumar now joins us for more on this. Neetu, how did this scam take place and go unnoticed for such a long time?
No, Harish, we cannot say it was for a very long time, because that is what the High Court itself said. It's for a short period of 2 months, and it happened in the last 2 months of 2025, and the audit was done till Jan 2nd, that is this month, and they have found out these discrepancies. This was a report by the Vigilance of the Travancore Devaswom Board themselves, which has found that in a short span of this month, that is from November 17 to the 26th of December, in that period, while selling of ghee to the devotees from one particular place, around 16,000 packets have been, they were missing basically. So if that was sold and the money had been given to the Devaswom Board, it would have been about 13 lakhs. And when the audit was conducted till January 2nd, they found that about 22,000 additional packets were missing, and that would have amounted to about 22 lakhs. So that is the rough 35 lakh, that is a misappropriation of funds. Now the Kerala High Court has come down heavily and said and asked the Vigilance and Anti-Corruption Bureau of the state to form a special team and investigate into this matter, into these discrepancies, and within a month's time they have to submit a report before the Kerala High Court. Now in Kerala High Court you have a separate division bench for the Devaswom Board, the Devaswom matters itself. It is known as the Devaswom Board. So they will handle all the issues that come under these Devaswom boards. So it is this board which has come out heavily against us, stating that this cannot be seen as a mere negligence. There is criminality in this. Records have been changed. So the various sections of the BNS and under the Prevention of Corruption Act, this comes, and goes on to say that if in such a short span of time, if 35 lakhs was misappropriated from just one stream of revenue, we are wondering what is happening in the other stream. And court went on to say that the records are not maintained properly, and it looks like this is to help the siphoning of the funds.
In fact, Neetu, this essentially means that even as there was a massive controversy over the gold theft case, at the same time you had people inside the system who were carrying out another scam without really worrying about the entire focus being around the transactions that was happening within the temple.
Yes, that's correct. And if you look at the timeline, it's a time when the gold theft and the issues related to that are at its peak. And it's at that time the Devaswom Vigilance has found something like this, and the Special Commissioner has submitted the report to the Devaswom Board. Now, definitely there will be politics over this. The opposition Congress as well as the BJP has raised this issue. Sabarimala is going to be one poll issue ahead of the 2026 Assembly elections.
Absolutely. In fact, stay with us, Neetu, because the next story is also from coming in from the state of Kerala. This is where a controversy has erupted over the stop memo that has been issued on temporary bridge for Tiruvannavaya Mahamaga festival. In fact, revenue officials have issued a stop memo to the construction of a bridge, citing environmental hazard for the Mahamaga festival in Malappuram. The festival is described by the organizers as the Kumbh Mela of Kerala. In fact, the BJP has raised objection to the stop memo issued by the authorities. In fact, Neetu continues to be with us. Neetu, this issue likely to be raked up further by the BJP, considering that the state heads into an election in a few months' time.
Oh, that's correct. BJP leaders have already started reacting on this. Former State President Kumanam Rajashekaran has put out a Facebook post stating that this is something which is, we cannot accept this, and this is a plan of the state government, essentially blaming the state government over not giving permission. Now, the district authorities are clearly stating that this construction of a bridge, whether it's temporary or not, a bridge over the river bed is actually a violation of the existing rules protecting the rivers and the riverbeds in the state, and that is why a stop memo has been issued. The district authorities also state that they are also concerned that the organizers are saying that this is an issue, this is a festival. No, they are stating that this is a Kumbh Mela of Kerala. So a festival like that which they are planning to organize, and they are stating that 20,000 or 50,000 pilgrims will come here every day for a period of about 2 weeks. So that is something which the district authorities say that it is of huge concern to them, because this is something where there is no proper disaster management plan. They're saying that the organizers doesn't have any proper disaster management plan. What if something happens? What if a stampede occurs? And then also the toilet facilities and other pollution aspects also, because the riverbed, the several drinking water schemes depend on this river. This is the Bharatapura and the riverbed. So they say that if pollution happens, then that will affect the drinking water facilities. So these are all issues that have been raised by the district authorities, and they have been saying, we have seen recent episodes in other parts of the country where when people turn out in large number without proper disaster management plan, how things have turned out. So that is also a concern, is what the district authorities are saying.
Absolutely. We'll have to see how this entire controversy now pans out. Thank you, Neetu, for joining us with all those details. Shifting focus to Andhra Pradesh now, where a clean chit given by the Anti-Corruption Bureau to Chandrababu Naidu has triggered a massive political storm. This is in fact the Anti-Corruption Bureau Court in Vijayawada, which has accepted a petition from the Crime Investigation Department to close the investigation against Chandrababu Naidu, filing a mistake of fact memo stating that their investigation found no material evidence to establish Chandrababu Naidu's involvement in the alleged 370 crore misappropriation. In fact, the YSRCP has come down heavily, slamming the closure of skill development case against Chandrababu Naidu. It's also questioned the institutional credibility.
The closure of skill development case against Chandrababu Naidu is shocking. This sends a dangerous message that power can place people above the law. This was not an ordinary case. A special investigation team, SIT, recorded evidences. The ED traced money laundering routes. Arrests and attachments were made. The CAG had assessed major loss to the state exchequer, and Chandrababu Naidu was arrested. Now the skill case is also being buried. Such systematic misuse of power will ruin the accountability and allow the people in power to loot the public money. We condemn this, and YSRCP will continue to fight against such blatant misuse of power.
In fact,